Now we have a moment for our meditation, and I'll be reading a poem by Khalil Gibran. And this is written from the perspective of a flower. So as you hear this poem, remember that it is not me, it is a flower that is speaking. Song of the Flower. I am a kind word uttered and repeated by the voice of nature. I am a star fallen from the blue tent upon the green carpet. I am the daughter of the elements with whom winter conceived, to whom spring gave birth. I was reared in the lap of summer, and I slept in the bed of autumn. At dawn, I unite with the breeze to announce the coming of light. At eventide, I join the birds in bidding the light farewell. The plains are decorated with my beautiful colors, and the air is scented with my fragrance. As I embrace slumber, the eyes of night watch over me. And as I awaken, I stare at the sun, which is the only eye of the day. I drink dew for wine and hearken to the voices of the birds and dance to the rhythmic swaying of the grass. I am the lover's gift. I am the wedding wreath. I am the memory of a moment of happiness. I am the last gift of the living to the dead. I am a part of joy and a part of sorrow. But I look up high to see only the light and never look down to see my shadow. This wisdom which man must learn. A blessed day after Earth Day, and yet I can't help but believe that every day could be Earth Day if we chose it to be. And I'm really grateful for the collection of resources that I found online from many different UUs. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the Flower Communion. And so Dr. Peter Moisky and also Dr. Norbert Chopek, whom I'll be talking more about, contributed to today's service. So I just wanted to extend my gratitude. And this service, the Flower Communion, it originated in 1923 by Dr. Norbert Chopek. And he was the founder of the Unitarian movement in Czechoslovakia. Chopek's mother was a devout Catholic, and his father was agnostic. And he became an acolyte at age 10 in 1890 at St. Martin's Catholic Church. In the years that followed, he became disillusioned. At 18, apprenticed to his uncle, a successful tailor in Vienna, Norbert discovered the Baptists and he became a minister. He founded almost a dozen churches in Ukraine, or from Ukraine to Budapest. Yet slowly his faith became more and more liberal. He left Bohemia under the government threat and accepted a call to serve a Baptist church in New York City until one day in 1919. That day, he wrote in his diary, "I cannot be Baptist anymore, even in compromise. The fire of new desires, new worlds is burning inside of me." Norbert and his wife, Maya Čapek, joined a Unitarian church in New Jersey in 1921 for the same reason. And they gave their children, hang on a second. For the same reason a lot of us did, was to really broaden the perspective of religious education. When World War I ended, Čapek's home country was then independent. He and Maya returned to Czechoslovakia. His Unitarian church was the Prague Liberal Religious Fellowship. In 20 years, his church had 3,200 members. The traditional Christian communion service of bread and wine wouldn't meet the needs of his congregation because his church, like ours, had people who believed a diversity of things. Čapek turned to the beauty of the countryside, to the beauty of flowers, and in 1923, he developed the flower ceremony. He asked his congregants to bring a flower to church from their gardens, the field, or the roadside. He invited each person to place their flower in a vase. There was the church community, no less unique for being united. Following the service, each person could take a flower from the vase, a different one than they had brought. Čapek was a visionary minister with a church ahead of its time, a bold church, a church thinking beyond its doors, beyond what it thought was possible. It was a church that was willing to take risks, to make tough decisions, to bear disappointment, and to build a new way, first by building a church, and that church could build up the world. That is our church, the Unitarian Universalist Peace Fellowship. That was Čapek's church. For this, the Gestapo arrested him in 1942. The Nazis accused Čapek of listening to foreign broadcasts and sent him to the Dachau concentration camp. Even in starvation and torture, he held a flower ceremony with his fellow prisoners, finding whatever flowers they could among the weeds of the camp. They testified to a beauty larger than themselves and a love that would outlive them. Sadly, the Nazis killed Čapek, but his spirit, courage, and commitment live on today. Those qualities have passed now too to us to make them real. His wife, Maya, brought the flower ceremony to the Unitarian Church in Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1940. And what we are about to do is not a historical reenactment of something over and done, but an affirmation of our community, of our continuity with the generations of struggle for ever-widening liberty. We at Peace Fellowship honor our 8 principles that are listed on the back of your order of service that everyone has. And this special ceremony especially celebrates and recognizes the 6th principle, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for everyone. This flower ceremony, lovely though it is not a diversion from the harsh truths of reality, but a gentle fierceness proclaiming that in the midst of challenging times, there is always the light of beauty. I regularly contemplate beauty with great curiosity and reverence, because I can't help but wonder if truly beauty might save us all. We are not here today to recall something that happened, but to remember something that is happening right here, to remember, to put back together again. And in that remembering, may we put ourselves back together again, each as a part of the body of this community. Out of many, one. Today, we celebrate this ritual of solemnity and joy. As Chapek asked his people to bring a flower and celebrate beauty, so shall we. We also celebrate the diversity of our Unitarian Universalist Peace Fellowship, our congregation, the diverse array of beauty and differences of us. This is a noble and meaning-filled ritual we are about to recreate. This service includes the original prayers of Dr. Chapek to help us remember the principles and dreams for which he died. Whenever Dr. Chapek conducted his flower communion in Prague, he would say this proverb as he consecrated the flowers. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of thy most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do thy work in this world. And so now it is time for us to share in the flower communion. I ask that as each of you in turn approach the communion vases, you do so quietly, reverently, and with a sense of how important it is for each of us to address our world and one another with gentleness, justice, and love. I ask that you select a flower different from the one you brought that particularly appeals to you. As you take your chosen flower, note its particular shape and beauty. Remember to handle it carefully. It is a gift that someone else has brought to you. It represents that person's unique humanity and therefore deserves your kindest touch. Let us share quietly in this Unitarian Universalist ritual of oneness and love. So you're all invited to come forth and to receive your gift of a flower. I'll just take the whole vase. Now, I invite you to listen and receive Dr. Chapek's flower communion prayer. Then you may wish to regard the beautiful gift in front of you. In the name of Providence, which implants in the seed the future of the flower, and in our hearts the longing for people to live in harmony. In the name of the highest, in whom we move, and who makes the mother and the father, the sister, the brother and sibling what they are. In the name of sages and great religious leaders who sacrificed their lives to hasten the coming of the age of mutual respect, let us renew our resolution. Sincerely to be brothers, sisters, siblings, regardless of any kind of bar which estranges us from each other. In this holy resolve, may we be strengthened, knowing that we are one family, that one spirit, the spirit of love, unites us. And let us endeavor for a more perfect and more joyful life. Amen. Just before he was put to death in Dachau, Dr. Chapek wrote this prayer, reflecting on his own life and the state of his spirit. It is worthwhile to live and fight courageously for sacred ideals. Oh, blow ye evil winds into my body's fire, my soul you'll never unravel. Even though disappointed 1,000 times or fallen in the fight and everything would worthless seem, I have lived amidst eternity. Be grateful, my soul. My life was worth living. He who was pressed from all sides but remained victorious in spirit is welcomed into the choir of heroes. He who overcame the fetters, giving wing to the mind, is entering into the golden age of the victorious. It's the end of his prayer. We use flowers in our ceremony this morning to help us symbolize the love that is hidden deep inside us. Flowers are beautiful, and so are the feelings of love among people. Their beauty cannot be measured, and neither can the feelings of people be measured. Our life is short, their life is short. New flowers will replace flowers that die, and new love can come into our hearts. This little bud is for all the new babies that have come into our families and into our presence over the last year. Last year, these babies did not exist, and this year they are among us. Before they could lift a hand, they learned to smile. Before they could speak, they learned to love. If we help them keep this love in their hearts, they will pass it on to others many years in the future. This flower represents the people living all over the world. Maybe we will never see them face to face or touch their hands, but we can still warm our hands on their hearts because we know that their hopes are like our hopes. Their pain is like our pain, their love like our love. And these flowers out here were brought here by different people and put together on these trays. They stand for all the people here today and those that are in your hands. These flowers, so lovely today, may fade tomorrow or the day after, but the love among brothers, sisters, siblings, families, and friends will go on and on. We know one another. We know what is in each other's hearts. We have brought our flowers and our love to brighten our church and gladden our hearts. In the name of what is holy, in the name of what is good, in the name of that which gives life, we have gathered here in this place today. We have been given life to live under the aspect of eternity, for that is the source of happiness, to work on ourselves and bring happiness into our lives, to be as valid as possible to others with whom we are connected by invisible relationships. You, the flowers, remind us of the wonderful simplicity of the natural order and that we too are a part of it. You remind us of the beauty and the harmony of diversity. You remind us that one can feel and perceive and live unity in diversity and diversity in unity. Let the spirit of creative life unite us as it reigns among us. Blessed be. Amen. Aho.